Greetings. This is a tutorial video on the use of Smart Notebook software to create multimedia presentations for use on the smartboard. The topic of this particular presentation is the use of the pen tool in the process of setting up a presentation for use. You'd use the pen tool primarily during a presentation to add markup to your page or to help deliver the lesson. You would use it probably less in the process of setting up the presentation, but there are some things that you would use the pen tool for, and we're going to talk about them in this presentation. Obviously, you'd use the pen tool to draw images. If you needed some freehand drawing, like this fancy spaceship here, you could draw that using the pen tool. If you're familiar with the whack-a-mole game, the moles in the whack-a-mole game were drawn using the pen tool. You could also use the pen tool to write, although it's probably less ideal than actually writing things using text. You could write fractions or anything else. You can use the pen to highlight, and that's something a colleague of mine uses a lot. Is he'll set up a vocab page, he'll highlight the vocab term, and then include the definition after that highlighted vocab term. You can also use it to cover information or cover things, images on your page so that students could use it in an erase to reveal activity. And we'll look at that as well in this presentation. So those are the basic ideas, and again, you have other ideas you can also use applying your pen tool. We're going to open a blank Smart Notebook file, so you might want to do that so you can follow along with the things we're doing here. There are 5 basic pen tools that you might use: the basic pen, the calligraphy pen, creative pen, the magic pen, and the shape pen. In terms of setting up a presentation, it's unlikely that you would use the magic pen or the shape pen, and I'm not going to talk about the calligraphy pen, so we'll talk about the regular pen tool and then the creative pen tool in this particular presentation. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the regular pen. If I click on the pen tool, I see a number of different pen types, and if I click on one and then draw something on the screen, you can see that you get whatever the picture is that you're drawing comes up on your screen. Right now I'm at my desk using my mouse to draw, which is less than ideal. If you were actually going to draw something, you'd probably want to be at the board doing that for your setup. So anyway, that's the basics of using a pen. You click on your screen, hold the button down, and draw. Obviously you can use the pen at the board, which might be more ideal. If I click on the pen tool, another thing I can do is give myself different colors on my pen tool. So you can see I have purple, orange, and yellow instead of the red, green, and blue that are the normal defaults. Now the reason I have that is so that I can use other colors to add markup to my presentation, other than just the board, the pen tools that come on the board. You can obviously change the colors of those pens as well. I think it's nice to just add more pen colors through the pen tool. So how to do that is to click on any of the pen varieties you have at the bottom there on that list. Click on one of them and then go to the Properties tab. And then within the Properties tab, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by changing the color of my pen. I don't want it to be a black pen. I want a brown colored pen. Then I'm going to change the thickness of my pen, and I'm going to change from a dotted line to a solid line. I could also change the start or the end if I needed to. But for now, that's fine. I'm going to click on the Save Tool Properties button, and that's going to save my pen tool as a nice brown pen. So now I can add another goofy-looking smiley face. So again, that's the basics of changing the pen tool. And again, I would use the pen tool to draw things or that sort of thing. I really can't draw anything except for that spaceship that you saw earlier, and every time I draw it, it seems like it just gets worse and worse. So again, once you have an image drawn, then you could use that image, you could duplicate that image or whatever else you might need to do with a spaceship. Creative pen is, first the other pen, there are highlighters also, and you can change and add highlighters. So using the highlighter tool, you just highlight whatever information you want to draw attention to within your presentation. The creative pen can also be used to kind of highlight things. You can see there's a number of different types of creative pens. And by clicking on, this is my personal favorite, you can kind of draw a box around something, or you can write, you can write words in creative pen. again, whatever you would need a Creative Pen to do in your setup process, you could do that. And that's, there's a lot of things you could do. The next thing I'm going to show is, the next thing I'm going to do is set up a erase to reveal situation. So first what I'm going to do is put on the screen just an X. I'll make a red X here on my screen. The next thing I'm going to do is insert a picture, and I'm just going to look up a picture. We'll look for, let's just click on pictures. I think that's where I found it. So if I look in my Gallery Essentials here, I see a picture of Abraham Lincoln, so I'll start with that. Click on that picture, and now I've got a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and I have an X. So what I can do now is I'm going to just draw on my screen in the color of my background. So in order to do that, I'm going to modify this pen tool to be background color. I'm going to click on the Properties tab. I'm going to make it a really thick pen. I'm going to make it solid. And then I'm going to use the eyedropper and click on the background so that I get the color of the background for my pen tool. Then I'm going to save my tool properties. And then when I click on my screen, I'm now drawing in, well, what turns into white pen. You can see once I color over the information or the things that I have on my screen, what I'd have my kids do is come to the board and they'd use the eraser tool and to erase some area of the board, and they'd be, oh no, I got the X. That's a bummer. And then another kid would maybe erase and find Abraham Lincoln and be very excited. So erase to reveals an idea that I've seen used by teachers. It might be something you might want to make use of in your classroom. So that's the basics of using the pen tool for the setup process. Hope you enjoyed it.